Some of my favorite stories ever are stories that Matt Lindland told me. And Matt Lindland, first off, is a very good storyteller. Second off, he's had a very unusual life. And third, whatever Matt thinks is the moral of his story, he always has wrong, which is just always something that's funny to me. So, Matt wanted to be a wrestler, and this is way back. He was 11 years old. And there was a junior college called Rick's Junior College. And largely, it's a Mormon school, but it was a junior college that largely fed in to Brigham Young University, particularly with the wrestlers. So Mormon school, though, relevant to the story. So Matt's a camper. He's a kid. He's out there taking in the camp. And the two coaches are John Smith and Mark Schultz. They were Olympic teammates. They are both Olympic champions, and they're running the camp. So the way camp worked is Schultz is down here with half the room. John Smith's down here with half the room. And then partway through practice, they switch. Okay, fine. So Mark Schultz is not for everybody. Okay, he has a level of intensity. He has a stare where he can put these very cold eyes on you and give you one look and make a person melt. I mean, he's a very intimidating figure if you guys don't know who he is. John Smith, who is the greatest wrestler to ever live, is about half Schultz's size. So it's really not going to come down to that. It's going to come down to a size issue, and I imagine you're going to have to do things Schultz's way. So the guys are separated, and these are just kids. Kids wrestling camp. And Smith's standing in front of them, and he's talking to them, and some of the kids are telling him, hey, I'm not totally comfortable with Coach Schultz. He's a little intense, and he's frightening us, and John Smith tells the kids, yeah, hey, I know. It's happening to me too. He was just telling me a story last night at the dorms about some football player that he beat up at the University of Oklahoma. But trust me, let's just all get through this together. And Smith looks over his shoulder, and Mark Schultz is standing right there. And Schultz says, are you telling them the story that I told you last night? And Smith goes, yeah. And Schultz goes, you know what? That's a good idea. They should hear it. So he calls all the kids down from the other side of the room. He sits them all down, and he tells them this story about this big football player, and the guy had done something, and Schultz throws him down and beats him up and pull his jugular vein out. There's all these different things. Brutal graphic story to these kids. And not only children at a religious college, taking a little summer camp. So Schultz tells him this whole graphic, brutal story, and then says, and do you want to know the moral of that story? Moral of that story is, if you're a wrestler, you don't have to take crap from anyone. And all the kids are mortified. They all want to go home. They all want to get their money back. They just want out of there. Matt Lindland was in the crowd. Matt Lindland was one of the campers and goes, that's what I want to be. Now I know what I want to be. I want to be a wrestler.